Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and we are back today with another live review, but before we get into that, sorry if my voice is a little bit fucked up. I've got a bit of a cold, so if it's a bit croaky throughout this video, I apologize. But today we're here to talk about a show I went to last night, the return of Tonight Alive, live at the Metro Theatre in Sydney. And this was the homecoming of one of Sydney's favourite bands and also the first tour since the release of their newest record, Underworld, a record that I've really enjoyed. The show was opened up by local pop soloist AViVA. I was really impressed by her performance. She really controlled the stage and her vocals were on point. She sounded like an evil lord with a mix of 21 Pilots in there. There was this really dark, eerie vibe that went throughout the entire set and I really enjoyed that. The songs really came alive in the live setting. All the singles that she's released so far have sounded a little bit too processed for me, but the songs had an added roughness live that really made a great impact. Unfortunately, as the set progressed, the backing tracks started to take over the set, which was a bit of a shame, but I walked away thinking there was a lot of potential with AViVA, and I'm definitely going to be looking out for the next release. Next up were Melbourne pop-punk band Between You and Me. These guys are recent signees to Hopeless Records, and they just recently recorded their debut record, and they warmed up the crowd really nicely with their modern pop-punk sound for fans of bands like The Story So Far and Neck Deep. And playing to a 3/4 full Metro Theatre, the band looked completely comfortable. Unfortunately, the set was hindered by bad sound problems throughout the entire set, with certain sections having really harsh guitar tones going on. And when the band played new songs from their upcoming debut record, you could hear a progression in their songwriting ability, so that's really promising to see. I'll definitely be looking out for their debut record coming out this year. It was then time for Tonight Alive to take the stage, and these guys have really grown up from their classic pop-punk sound to something a bit more mature and evolved. The set consisted largely of their most recent record, Underworld, as well as the record 2 records before that, The Other Side, and the set was all the better because of that. Whenever the band played pre-The Other Side songs, it started to sound a bit empty. The band showed their intentions right from the very first note, throwing out 3 stormers in a row, opening up with Book of Love, straight into Lonely Girl, and then straight into The Ocean. It's hard to open a set better than that and still have massive songs to put in throughout the rest of the set. Vocalist Jenna McDougall commanded the crowd for the entirety of the set, and her vocals were on point. There are some people that you watch and you just feel like they were born to front a band, and Jenna is definitely one of those people. She really knows how to pump up a crowd and get everyone involved. You could tell this was a special show for her. It was in their hometown. She took many moments to thank the crowd for being there and even shouted out her grandmother who was in the crowd, seeing them play live for the very first time. Now, some may criticize Tonight Alive for using a lot of backing tracks to make up for the loss of Whack Tahi on guitar, but for me, if that helps the relationship of the band be as tight as possible and allows them to perform as good as possible, then I'm okay with it. And guitarist Jake Hardy did a great job of mixing up what he was playing between leads and rhythm. His stage presence wasn't the best, but I can forgive that because he is playing for 2 guitarists now. He's taking on a lot of responsibility, and for a guy that used to be predominantly a rhythm guitarist, it's really impressive to see what he's done. I do think the band misses having a second guitar live. There were certain choruses and certain riffs that didn't sound as big as they could have, and I think maybe getting a touring guitarist on the payroll might be better for the band in the future. The rhythm section of drummer Matt Best and bassist Kem Adler were as tight as ever. Kem has never had the best stage presence in the world, he just never has, but his playing was fantastic, and I didn't realize how good at guitar he was, as we saw in an acoustic rendition of Oxygen from the Limitless record. Man, that guy can fingerpick real well. Limitless was a record that didn't really connect with me, but in the live setting, it really came alive. It was great to hear human interaction in the set. That was a song from Limitless that I always connected with and thought was really good, so it was nice to hear that in the live setting. I've always had a soft spot for that song. You can tell that Limitless is a really personal record for the band and one that they love, but they also realize that it didn't really connect with the fans, and that's very evident in their song choices in the set list. The choices from Limitless were sparse, but they were welcome. The Other Side may end up being my favorite song that Tonight Alive ever put out, and it was so great to hear that in the set. It's not a song that's always in the set, but it definitely should be. I love the use of dynamics within that track, and the chorus sounded absolutely huge with everybody singing every word. For fans of the old pure pop punk Tonight Alive sound, crowd, there were moments in the set for them, even though they were few and far between. And they mostly came earlier up in the set with the songs Listening and What Are You So Scared Of? And as I said earlier, when put next to the newer sound in Tonight Alive's career, these songs did sound a bit empty. But the crowd didn't seem to mind at all, with circle pits opening up and the crowd singing so loudly you could barely hear Jenna. The songs from Underworld sounded absolutely massive. I really liked that record. It was great to hear those songs be the highlights of the set. Crack My Heart still gets me from the very first note. It has a great moody tone to it. It was a great change of pace in the middle of the set. Disappear is going to end up being one of Tonight Alive's biggest tracks. The crowd absolutely ate it up, and Jenna's vocal performance on this song in particular was very impressive, but all paled in comparison to the closing track of the night, Temple. Tonight, Temple cemented itself as a standout moment in Tonight Alive's career. The guitar tone in this track is absolutely massive, and the crowd was so loud. It was easily the loudest the crowd had been all night, and for very good reason. Every time I hear this song, it gets better and better, and it was a perfect closer to the night. There was no encore tonight. It wasn't needed. The band had come, played every song that people wanted to see, and played it with passion. Even with random dudes trying to get Jenna's attention by taking their shirts off every 2 seconds. Guys, she doesn't care. We get it. You went to the gym today. She's not looking at you. But regardless of that, it was a great night. If you haven't seen Tonight Alive on their newest record, Underworld, you absolutely should. Those songs sound great live, and they are on top form. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure you follow me on all my social medias down in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.